Yo, it's game time, boys. Day 4 of the Arms Masterclass display. This is going to finish up the tricep. So this is going to be the last tricep video in the Arms Masterclass 8-part series. So what we have is, as you guys know, if you haven't been here, you're going to want to go back to the beginning videos, 100%. It's going to take you through the Arms Masterclass. We started off with triceps, right? But we also have to finish what we started, correct? So we're going to finish it with this because it's the perfect way of ending this sucker off. It's the way we like to do it. It's the way we like to make it happen. Because if you are new on this series, we are superset supremacists. And right now, this is why we are superset supremacists, because we're about to finish off the muscle growing portion of the tricep itself. And the way we do it is on the front end of the superset. What do? Compound movement that we want to progress on. On the back end, we pick a very easy isolation exercise. When I say easy, I mean easily to isolate. Not easy as in actually easy. We're talking about easy to facilitate isolation, right? So the back end of it is you want to pick an isolation exercise to take that muscle to complete failure. So we're not just doing, biceps and triceps. That's not how we do it. We do tricep and tricep, but biasing the same exact portion of the muscle back to back. And that's how we like to do it. That's how we like to make it happen. And it is game time. So without further ado, let's get into the muscle growing set. Let's finish the sucker off because that's what we do, baby. All right, we're starting this sucker off. Like I said, compound movement on the front end. What do we want to do? Easy. The thing that we actually want to do for me is going to be Skullcrushers, and that's how we're going to end it off. Now, there's a couple ways of doing the Skullcrusher, and I always mix it up. Sometimes what I like to do, make sure it's a good angle. Yeah, we got a good angle. Sometimes I like to come all the way back and do like that. But the problem is there's furniture right here, so I'm going to go to my head. Either way, it's fine. Does not matter. And you want to go as heavy as possible while getting quality reps. That's the game. That is painful. Dude, those JM presses on the yesterday completely messed me up. That's what I love about the Skullcrushers. We can extend it out just like that. Come back on the negative. Hold position. Boom. Yep. Superset time. With no break, you go right into these bad boys. Like I said, you can pick anything. That's what I love about this superset framework. I used to do these all the time when I was younger. And to be honest with you, these are kind of trash. But I'm also explaining this to you because you guys are so worried about doing trash exercises. And these aren't actually trash. My point is yes, are there better exercises? No doubt. Does it actually matter when you have this superset framework? No, it really doesn't, dude. Obviously, if you have the ability to pick better exercises, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's also nothing wrong with doing exercises that don't rank high on hypertrophy rankings. That's stupid. Because all that matters is that you take it to complete failure. Wow. Yeah, that trash exercise, I guarantee you I'm doing more with that trash exercise than 99% of people are doing with their optimal routines. Guaranteed. Yeah. Now we take the rest period, right? There's no breaks with the superset. You go from this Skullcrusher, right? Easy movement to compound, right? You can progress on it. That's why I always place the exercise. I don't even call it compound sometimes because then people get so fixated on terms, you realize. But basically an exercise you care to progress on, depending on whatever your goals are. But the front of that superset should be something you care about progressing on in terms of the amount of weight you're doing. Then the back end, you still want to pick something that's easy to take to complete failure, which is why I always recommend an isolation exercise. Easier to do. Just like the front end, easier to have a compound exercise to do that thing for you. But the whole point of it is progress, get stronger, heavy as possible with quality reps, All right, that's 3. That works. And then in the back end, you just want to take it to complete failure with that second exercise. I recommend doing an isolation one, right? It's a lot easier to do, much easier. If you think of it that way, that's why I purposely chose that press. I don't even know what the hell it's called, to be honest, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter whatsoever. It doesn't matter, especially when you implement it and package it up this way, because it doesn't take time. I'm going to do one more set and I'm done. That's it. I don't need to do no 3-4 sets. I don't have to, because it's about quality over quantity. Always has been, always will be. But this is where people also get mistaken. People learn quality and they're like, yeah, man, so I'm only going to do 1 set per week, Mike Mentzer style. First off, you and Mike Mentzer have probably very different goals. Second, you don't know what quality looks like to that level to be able to do 1 set a week and grow. Third, he took steroids. It's a little bit different for the Natty's boy, like 110%. Do you understand that, right? Like, you can't take the same philosophy from a steroid user and apply it to your situation. It's very different. Hormonally, they're locked in. Like, they're locked in hormonally. You are not, right? Like, you can't do the things that they do because they're also injecting themselves often, right? There's a reason why they're doing that. There's a reason why they chose not to do it the natural way. A guy like Mike Mentzer is different, right? He wanted to be on the biggest stage. He wanted to flex. He wanted Mr. Olympia. Those are his goals. If those aren't your goals, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So I always tell people, like, listen, training is meant to callous certain parts of your mind. The side effect is the body you want, truthfully, because then you start actually, like, you're mindful. You know what I mean? You start really, really thinking about these things and not overthinking in that way. It's weird. It's like flow. You start understanding that your body is its own mental thermometer. Like, it's a legit thermostat. It'll tell you what you need, and a lot of times it's masked, and I don't feel like doing that. And then you just simply do it. But it's way too long of a rest period for me. Let's get into it. Second set. Bang, bang. I'm not going to lie. These Skullcrushers were a bit heavy on the last set, which means it's only going to get worse this set. But screw it. I kind of want to get this locked in. But this is all about quality sometimes, you know? Like, you have to figure out what quality is. And sometimes that's having a couple sets that aren't. Boom. Come on. Come down slow, controlled. That's it. Superset time. Hold on, can you guys see? I'm always looking out for my dogs. Always looking out. I'll take a break for y'all. I haven't done this in a decent period of time. This used to be a finisher for me back in the gym bro days. Nostalgia, baby. Those really sneak up on you. That's it. That's fucking terrible, dude. That's awful. That is awful. Yeah, that's it. That wraps up the tricep portion of the masterclass. Why do we start with it? Because in my opinion, it's a much more significant muscle than the biceps. Not that the biceps are insignificant, but especially when it comes to all pressing, whether that's pressing for the chest or pressing for the shoulders, it comes into play. Having strong triceps will only help your other lifts skyrocket. And not that biceps don't do the same thing, they absolutely do, but not to the level that the triceps do for the chest and the shoulders. Not even close. And that's why I do it this way. And you see it, 2 sets. For all the muscle growing sets, what do we do? 2 sets, 2 sets, 2 sets, and then we did 3 for the very, very beginning. And if you guys missed it, 100% go back over it, because it shows you how we sequence all of our lifts and why we do it the way we do it, right? And the way I'll tell you this is when you lift this way, of course your triceps are going to grow. That's the beauty of this. This is why I'm putting on the master class of, 8 days in a row. That's why I'm doing this. It's because once you understand this is what it looks like, oh, this is what he means when he says this. This is what he means when he says this. It's super helpful because I'm not checking off boxes. All I'm thinking about is quality. I'm in that set and that's all that matters. If I'm on my phone, I'm the same exact way. Sometimes I'm actually really bad with that. But when I'm doing anything, that's what I'm doing. If I'm on my phone, I'm on my phone. If I'm doing work, I'm doing work. If I'm in the middle of a set, I'm in the middle of a set. That doesn't mean I can't pick up my phone, in between sets or whatever. But though it's my break, that's why I like doing it that way. Boom, boom, break. And as soon as my body tells me ready to rock and roll, that's when we're ready to rock and roll. But that's all it is. That's all there is to it. That is the tricep game, baby. That is it. We're touching up all these different portions, right? This is also, when it comes to joint health, you're by proxy helping out your joint health when you lift in this way, right? Because we're not ignoring any of this stuff. A lot of this stuff, when it comes like, oh, my elbows hurt, dude. Like, they hurt really bad. It's because you're trying to do so in a way, like, that's where machine work is. It's good if you have bad elbows, but maybe you have bad elbows because you just haven't actually made them stronger. You haven't given them a reason to be strong and to withhold a little bit of pain and tension. That's why I like working out with stuff like this. This is why when I got started, this is how I got started, bare bones. But that's the game. That's quite literally it. Quantity over quality. Guess what? That wraps up day 4 of the masterclass. And then tomorrow we're going to get into the biceps. That's going to be start to finish. So you're not going to want to miss that. If you missed any of these videos that I'm talking to you about, and you're like, dude, what is he talking about, man? He mentioned this, he mentioned that. Go back to the previous videos. Go check those out. It's going to walk you all the way through start to finish about how to actually do it. And I'm purposely sectioning them off. That way you can focus on it, retain the information, and then apply it to your situation. Sometimes if you try to put everything inside one, you're almost forgetting what the first part was. And it's like, oh, am I really going to go back to that video and go back to the first part? No. I want to keep them just compartments. Boom, 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 boom. And that way you guys can come back to it anytime you want. But that's it. We wrapped up day 4. Tomorrow's biceps. Do not miss it. It is game time. Talk to you guys tomorrow.